Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. Entitled Mother demands I rearrange my work schedule so that I can continue picking up her daughter. So this story started around 2 to 3 years ago when I bought myself an early Christmas present. It was a Hogwarts bag because I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. So the cast is me, a beautiful girl, and an entitled mother. When the story started, I had a steady schedule at work, usually 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So, beautiful girl, who was 11 at the time, and the entitled mother and me waited for the bus together. We rode the same bus, although they got off a few stops before me. We never really spoke until the second day I had my new bag. On this day, I also wore my Gryffindor scarf and my Hogwarts hat because it was freezing. So beautiful girl looked at me with a face that I can only describe as fascination. "Mom, look at the girl over there. You said merch is only for kids, but she looks amazing." I overheard this and I smiled. The entitled mother didn't say anything but gave her daughter a mean look. Beautiful girl ignored that and walks over to me and said, "I really like your bag, and this hat is amazing. Where did you get that?" "Stop bothering the lady. It's not a problem at all." And I started answering the question. And we started talking about Harry Potter and that I was her age when I started reading it and so on. This went on for a few weeks or months. Then, entitled mother found out that we live in neighboring apartment complexes and asked if I would be okay with picking her daughter up in the morning. Entitled mother did home office and could start work earlier when I bring her to the bus and ride to school with her. I said, why not? And we exchanged numbers, so I could let her know when I was sick or when I needed to cover the late shift. This worked like a charm. I bonded quite well with the girl and she began to call me auntie. I was totally okay with it. The problem began when I started my new job in October. The first few weeks were training. It also started at 8 a.m., but after that I have a flexible schedule and start somewhere between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. I told entitled mother that in September. When I called her to remind her that she needs to bring beautiful girl to school again, this conversation happens. Keep in mind, beautiful girl is 14 by now. "Hey entitled mother, I wanted to remind you that my schedule changed and I can't go with beautiful girl anymore." "But I need you to. I changed my hours and I can't change it again. I am already on the kick list." I will never understand how you can log in late for a home office constantly. "Hey, beautiful girl is 14 now. I'm sure she can cross the road and get off the bus at the right stop." "No, please tell your job that you can only start at 8 a.m. Then you can bring beautiful girl to school." Entitled mother, "Listen, I can't do that because being flexible was a criteria to get the job." "But beautiful girl likes you a lot. She really enjoys the bus rides with you." "Beautiful girl knows she can call me anytime to hang out or when she needs help with her homework." Entitled mother doesn't help her. I will not change anything. Beautiful girl is a 14-year-old and she has told me multiple times that you are overprotective. After that, I hung up. Beautiful girl sent me a text a little afterwards that she is now allowed to ride to school alone. But her mom has told her that after that message, she is not allowed to hang out with me anymore. Guess who meets up tomorrow for a walk? Entitled mother thinks the emergency room is a hotel. Some disclaimers. This story took place before the COVID situation, but in the middle of the flu season. I'm posting this on my phone. Sorry, not sorry for the layout. English is not my first language. I'm a German medical student. Here's the story. When I did one of my mandatory internships at the hospital, I used to help out at the ER after hours from time to time because they were understaffed and were happy to have another helping hand. It was flu season and the hospital was packed. It was a particularly busy day because there had been 2 major and several minor car accidents. Icy roads. Ambulances were waiting in line for 45 plus minutes. We didn't have any chairs left in the waiting room. Chairs from the staff's rooms were included. All the stretchers and beds were occupied and some had to be placed in the corridor. Everybody was running trying to keep up with the workload. Cue our entitled parent. This very hysterical mom brought her daughter to the ER because she had a bellyache. Of course, I couldn't tell for sure, but it seemed like the daughter was a bit overdramatic. The whole thing seemed a tad theatrical. But fair enough, they were placed into one of the cabins. The daughter was thoroughly examined, vitals were checked, an ultrasound was done, blood was drawn. Mother Bear was pacing up and down the cabin in hysterics. The good news came in. The daughter had an upset stomach at worst. She was recommended a heating pad and some tea. We expected the duo to be relieved, but they seemed a tad disappointed. But okay, whatever. The attending nurse and I looked at them, expecting them to leave the desperately needed cabin and the obviously overflowing emergency room. When it became increasingly obvious that both were not planning to do so anytime soon, the nurse politely asked them to do so. The mother glared at us in shock. Excuse me, my daughter needs to rest. Let her sleep here. She should be observed by professionals. She's fragile, you know." I could tell that it took the nurse a lot not to start screaming or crying or both. She calmly explained that we needed the cabin because we had to care for a lot of very sick patients that were still waiting. Some were visibly in pain. "My daughter is sick. All these procedures were very exhausting for her. She needs rest. She needs this bed. Let her sleep for God's sake." The mother started a monologue about why her oh-so-sick daughter deserved the bed and needed to stay. We then decided to get the head nurse and a doctor. They most definitely had better things to do than listening to Mama Bear's complaints, who threw them out politely but with emphasis. Cue a lot of tired head shaking among staff members. Entitled mother sends her kid to eat off my plate. So my partner and I were out to eat at an Italian restaurant over the weekend. It was going great, except we were seated right by the door, so whenever someone came in, the cold breeze would hit you. This is important, so you know we were the closest table to the door. Anyway, our pizzas came and we were tucking in. They came uncut, so I was using a knife and fork to cut slices. Suddenly, there was a cool breeze, then a child next to me, and he, without saying a word, sticks his grubby hands onto my plate and takes a slice of pizza. This child was about 12 or 13. I had zero idea what to do except say, "What do you think you're doing?" My mom says I'm allowed. Suddenly, the breeze hits us again as the door opens. "Jonathan, what's going on? Did you get your pizza?" I turned in my seat to the woman, thinking the child must have just been confused and thought the pizza I was eating was his or something. I told the woman something along the lines of, "Sorry, your child has just stuck his hands in my pizza and taken a slice." I expected her to apologize, be super embarrassed, etc., but hell no. She just said something like, "Yeah, he's a child. He likes pizza. It's manners to share." I was floored. Like, what? So I said he shouldn't just grab food from other people or walk into a restaurant and steal food. What he did is stealing food. The entitled mother was livid and said, "It's not stealing, it's sharing." At this stage, she was pretty close to yelling. A waiter came over and asked them if they would like a table for two, but she doubled down. "No, this man called my son a thief. All he wanted was some pizza, and now he's upset." Cue the crying child. The waiter said, "If you aren't dining with us, you are going to have to leave." She loses it, screaming about discrimination against unvaccinated people. She did eventually leave, and both my partner and I got our pizzas remade and a bottle of house wine for free. Okay, so it's not very exciting, but imagine the parenting that's going on if a mother is sending her child in to eat off of other people's plates. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, subscribe. I'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.